Hardcore fans of the Brady Bündchen relationship don't always have a good time of it, to say the least. But if that label happens to describe you, here's something that might offer you at least a little comfort: 30 pictures and snippets that track the supermodel and the quarterback from the beginning of their relationship up to now, a peek behind closed doors. And trust us, they're both such photogenic people, it was hard narrowing it down to just 30 shots. Early days. The Brady Bündchen relationship began in the 2000s, and it was love at first sight. Bündchen told Vogue magazine in 2009, "We met through a friend. The moment I saw him, he smiled, and I was like, that is the most beautiful, charismatic smile I've ever seen." We sat and talked for 3 hours. From the first day we met, we've never spent one day without speaking to each other. Looks can be deceptive. But there were some early hurdles, and big ones. Right before meeting Bündchen, Brady had been in a relationship with actress Bridget Moynihan, and after they split up, she suddenly announced that she was pregnant with his child. Though Bündchen liked Brady very much, that was a lot of baggage, and she did actually consider splitting from him. Tough decision. Bündchen confessed all to CBS's Charlie Rose in 2015. She said that once she learned of the pregnancy, it was a challenging thing because here I am, thinking, I'm dating this guy we met, and we started dating and everything is great, and then this happens. So, then I felt like I didn't know what to do. It was kind of one of those moments of like, do I just run away? But she didn't. She married him. The big wedding. Bündchen and Brady officially tied the knot on February 26, 2009. It was a surprisingly low-key celebration for such a famous couple. They wedded at the Santa Monica Church in California and then threw a barbecue at their house for their friends and family. In fact, they kept it so private they didn't even share pictures of it until 9 years later, conquering the world. After the wedding, nothing else was low-key though. Bündchen and Brady quickly set about establishing themselves as a super couple, and they were extremely good at it. Their careers went from strength to strength, and photographers fell over themselves to catch them on the red carpet. By 2011, they were reportedly the highest-paid celebrity couple in the world, even surpassing Beyoncé and Jay-Z, stars of the gala. According to Forbes magazine, Bündchen was actually being paid more than her husband in 2011. She was the highest-earning supermodel on the planet. It was easy to see why, though. Whenever she graced a red carpet with her presence, usually wearing something stunning made by a top fashion designer, all eyes were on her, including, of course, the eyes of her husband. Now having children. Bündchen and Brady set about starting a family as soon as they could. Their first child, Benjamin, was born at the couple's home in December 2009, and then a few years later in December 2012 along came his sister Vivian. At birth, those two kids became half-brother and half-sister to Brady's son with Bridget Moynihan, Jack. Days of fun. Bays of fun. Bündchen and Brady settled down to raise their family, and for a long time everything seemed perfect. They were having fun with their kids, there was no bad blood with Moynihan, and their Instagram painted a picture of a couple very much in love. But playing for the NFL is incredibly stressful, so was that really not affecting their lives? Supportive wife. No matter what, Bündchen was always a massive supporter of Brady's football career. She angrily defended him after the Patriots lost to the New York Giants at Super Bowl XLVI. You may remember how that made headlines, and she also always made sure to praise him on her much-followed Instagram account. She was the very epitome of the supportive NFL wife. Rumors. But Brady's rep took a bit of a hit in 2015 when he was accused of cheating in an NFL game, a scandal which ended up being dubbed Deflategate. Rumors spread far and wide. Was Bündchen going to divorce him in the wake of that? Both anonymous insiders and Brady himself claimed that no, everything was fine in the marriage. Standing by him. Brady had to serve a 4-game suspension in 2016, and obviously he wasn't happy about it. For a football player of his caliber and fame, it was a massive blow, and yet Bündchen stood by him throughout. Asked during a press conference that year how much he was relying on his family, Brady answered, "My family has been everything to me." All loved up.
After that, everything seemed to be smooth sailing for Bündchen and Brady for a bit. They continued to amass a huge following of fans simply by showing up on Instagram and posting all the cutest pictures of their everyday lives. Here they are at another Halloween bash, this time dressed up as foodstuffs, or as Brady put it in his caption, "The toast to my avocado."
Cracks in the surface. Yet the marriage was never all football and galas. Later on, Brady revealed to Howard Stern that 2018 had been a pretty difficult year for him and Bündchen, what with children to raise on top of maintaining two very busy, globe-trotting careers. Apparently, according to Brady, Bündchen didn't feel like he was leaving her enough time to follow her own dreams outside the house. Overwhelming situations. Bündchen laid her feelings bare in the memoir she released that year, Lessons: My Path to a Meaningful Life. After their first child, it turned out the pair had struggled more than anybody knew. She wrote, "You're overwhelmed and tired when you're not the nicest partner. When someone you love is happy, it makes you happy, or if they're sad, it makes you sad." Behind closed doors. But was Bündchen also overwhelmed simply by being the wife of one of the biggest football players in the world? The couple continued to post nothing but fun, smiling shots to Instagram, yet something Bündchen said in a 2018 documentary, Tom vs. Time, was a little awkward. In it, she described football as Brady's main love. 10 years in. The year 2019 was a huge one for Brady. In February, the Patriots celebrated their win over the Rams at Super Bowl Lehigh, and that victory made Brady the first player in the world to win 6, and now it's 7 Super Bowl games. And if that wasn't good enough by itself, that month also marked his and Bündchen's 10th wedding anniversary. Queen and king. And then Brady and Bündchen got back to dazzling people on the Met Gala red carpet. For the May 2019 event, Bündchen wore one of the most elegant dresses there, a pink metallic gown made by Maria Grazia of Dior, while Brady wore a velvet tuxedo. Reporting on the event, People magazine wrote, "The fashion prom queen and king have arrived. Opposites attract." Brady gave an interview to Men's Health magazine in 2019, and during it he mused on the differences between him and his wife. "Gisele is not really into sports," he explained. "She's like a kite flying in the sky, and I'm kind of tethering her. Sometimes I have to hold on hard, but she knows I'm always there for her. Separate realities."
He also talked about how they came from totally different worlds. Gisele's life has been very non-traditional, he told the magazine. She left home at 14, she lived in Japan at 16 in an era with no cell phones. She lived in New York City at 17 without speaking English. In her mind, but there are no boundaries. Why can't you do that? Why do you have to go to school? Why can't you just leave and live in a different country? In her reality, you can.
Forever Valentine. The couple got all mushy for Valentine's Day in 2020. Brady wrote "My Forever Valentine" for Bündchen on his Instagram, and she responded in kind with the addition "Ti amo," wishing you all a happy Valentine's Day. But unfortunately, that year, the year of coronavirus and lockdown, would be a difficult one. And not just for them, but for everybody. Moving away. But Brady and Bündchen moved to Tampa in March, but then, of course, they found themselves locked down together. An insider revealed to Us magazine a couple of months in, with the quarantine, it's a challenge for them like any other parents trying to stick to a normal routine in the household. But this added time together is such a gift. Speaking out. In 2021, Brady let slip a little more about what the couple were like behind closed doors. The prospect of his retirement seemed to have brought some stuff up to the surface. But he said on his podcast, "My wife has, held down the house for a long time now, and I think there's things that she wants to accomplish. She hasn't worked as much in the last 10, 12 years just raising our family and kind of committing to being in a life in Boston and then moving to Florida." Retirement. In February 2022, Brady did indeed retire from the NFL, and he wrote a long and heartfelt Instagram post to mark it. It read, I always came off the field and home to the most loving and supportive wife who has done everything for our family to allow me to focus on my career. Her selflessness allowed me to reach new heights professionally, and I am beyond words what you mean to me and our family. Next chapter. Bündchen too celebrated her husband's retirement. She wrote on Instagram, "What? I know how excited you are about the next chapter of your life. Watching you work so hard in your football career and seeing the dedication you are now putting into all your new endeavors is incredibly inspiring. There is nothing you can't achieve. I have always been here for you, you know that. And I'm as excited as you are for what the future holds. We're in retirement." But no sooner had Brady retired than he was suddenly back in the game. His retirement had lasted a mere 6 weeks, in fact. Brady commended his family for their support when he made the announcement. But then rumors started to spread that his marriage was on the verge of collapse. Was this the end for the most beloved couple in American sports? Trying. Poll. The media certainly observed that Brady and Bündchen seemed to be seeing their kids separately all of a sudden. And then an insider informed Us Weekly magazine Gisele was not happy when Tom retired from the NFL after such a short time. Tom is doing everything he can to make it up to her. They're working through things and trying to come out the other side. Retirement, And then, before anyone had much time to process that, Brady stated he wished to retire yet again before too long. In September, an anonymous insider told People magazine that Bündchen had grown so resentful of the time Brady devoted to football, this is his last season if he wants to stay married. And to make matters worse, she sure hates the way he handled the retirement and coming back. Telling interview. But Bündchen could speak for herself regarding that. In a September interview with Elle magazine, she said that although she wanted her husband to be happy, obviously, I have my concerns, this is a very violent sport. And I have my children, and I would like him to be more present.